Warning: this episode covers sensitive topics like suicide that may be triggering for some audience members. Please be advised.
Wow, this is great. God, my thighs are sweating. We need to start.
We are starting! Yeah, it's recording. You guys dictate. Y'all dictating me now.
We are recording. I never know. They don't say green light go.
He did say we're live.
Yeah,
Alright! Welcome! America! Fucking fuck! Ready to say something.
This is the content warning.
This is the content. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were asking me. Alright, let's get this shit going. Someone give me a Xanax. Okay. That's you.
Oh, welcome to the Savage and Sexy. It is your favorite not safe for work nymphs, SB and K, here to make your day. And we are indeed wearing the lingerie.
2 times in a row!
Twice in a row!
This is
Wow!
Yes!
A plus gold star.
Gold star for wearing lingerie.
Doing so good.
It took us a long time, but we made it.
We made it.
That's it. I'm wearing this new.
Ooh, you should get up and
X.
show the people.
Do I have to?
You don't have to. But I have a feeling.
I'll show the people, and if you are subscribed to us on YouTube and Patreon, you get to see this lovely ass outfit we're wearing, and I'm wearing, and then we're just wearing stuff too.
What are you wearing?
I'm
What are
wearing
you
some Savage X Fenty.
Savage X Fenty. It's a teddy, right?
It's a nice teddy. It's
very
very
New
silvery
Year's.
for New Year's.
Yeah, it's very celebratory.
I got it on sale, guys.
It looks very soft and like.
It's great. You should see it from the back. From the back. From the back. I got the sauce. That is right. That's right. Yes.
Sorry guys, I'm like literally deprived of sleep.
Amanda's missing all her
hard.
cues.
So hard right now. This is gonna be a fun episode.
You know, New Year, same old us.
Was
we're
I supposed to say
great.
something? I'm sorry.
2022, it's the official first episode of 2022, guys.
Wait.
This is season 2 of our lives.
Which I didn't know. She informed me 10 minutes ago that this was season 2.
This is the first episode, season 2. Right
I'm
here.
proud of us. We
Seeing
have made it
fresh to
so
death.
far.
We made it so far.
We haven't
made
hit
it
our
through-
1-year anniversary yet, though.
When is that?
Because we dropped in April.
Oh.
But we started working on stuff in like maybe February/March.
Yeah. I
February.
remember that. Yes. Forgot where I was going with this, but it's exciting. We're all excited. I don't know what I lost.
I just want to say I'm really proud of you guys for the progression. Because look where we're at now. This is the second time in a row we're actually doing video. And I don't think it's a coincidence that coming into the new year, like we're starting.
We're wearing,
We're starting
I
at a
thought
certain
of that
level,
too.
you know,
a little bit
Yeah.
closer where we wanted to be. I remember we
Yeah.
talked about it on my sofa. We're like, one day we're gonna have video. It's gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
And it was not great back then, but now we're starting the year off right. We got lights.
Yeah.
It's
We got
great.
Baldwin.
Flowers.
We got Richie.
Richard Rich in the house.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hey!
I'm back. Motherfucking shot.
New year, new
Can
life.
I just say really quickly that I am incredibly grateful for everybody in this room.
Great.
Cue Waterworks. Cry.
I'm too tired to cry.
Okay.
But normally I would.
Sad. Cry in your heart.
I'm crying
Very
deeply.
thankful.
Grateful for y'all, man. This is a blast every time. It's a blast every time. And I have fun creating something that actually has substance at the end of the day. You know?
You're doing so.
Like our
I'm
booties.
great.
I fucking love it.
Oh,
I really do. Like, genuinely love it.
I don't know, because when we go back and half the shit we say, I'm like, what? Why did we say that? But it's fun, and it's great, and I think this is a great team that gets together, and when we get to have a guest and people come on, like everything, the energy is really great and really nice, and I would have never predicted being here in this room right now, like 3 years ago. So it's
No,
really exciting to see
it's
that.
so wonderful.
Yay!
Yeah, we definitely wouldn't be able to do this in that tiny ass studio that we had downstairs.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, this we upgraded.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we open our gifts?
Oh yes.
Does it matter?
It's nothing crazy, y'all, but it's something that definitely I think.
It's heavy.
It is incredible.
Yeah, I think it's something that eventually you guys will
It
use.
fell. I'm sorry.
What?
Maybe something
And
fell.
if you're, again, you can
I'm tired, guys. I'm sorry.
watch us open these gifts on YouTube and Patreon.
they're just like USB microphones. They plug right into your computer, and we can walk through the whole getting software and
recording
you can get some free software. Pack. So when you guys get snowed in, because Steph, I know you live far.
Yes, that was not.
We can do remote pods.
I was honestly thinking about that.
And if you guys just feel like singing,
me.
You guys wanted to just feel like singing too? Just let some steam out singing.
So I was thinking about that because I'm like, I live in Rhode Island, and I was like, I'm not coming up here in the snow because it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna, drop that bomb when it happened. But this, no, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
So excited. Look at it.
Very thoughtful.
For sure.
I almost cried.
I feel like Amanda's gonna be on the verge of crying the whole episode.
Wait, we should model with them.
I already put mine down. So.
Oh, and I got that bucket for you guys too, the light up bucket.
This is out. Good prop. Good prop.
Good little prop.
Oh, it lights up. Right? You didn't see that? Look at that.
Fancy.
For all the listeners that aren't watching, it's kind of annoying, but.
Get on YouTube. Why aren't you watching? I understand if you're driving in your car, but why aren't you watching?
I mean, we still appreciate you for listening.
I had a little music for them, just for the listeners.
But seriously, get with it. Wait until you're in a safe destination and watch us on YouTube and Patreon, please. That would be nice. Okay, story time. I forgot to talk about it. Woo! This morning, my child decided to get a little crazy.
Her child, in case you're joining us right now, is her dog.
Yeah, it's my dog.
This is the first episode you're listening to. I'm so sorry.
Are you gonna bring a dog? I really want you.
I was gonna try to bring him, but he was on timeout, so he doesn't get to have fun.
He wouldn't chill just like right in front of you.
He doesn't get to have fun.
Okay.
It's very strict mom over there.
Yeah.
She got
no fun.
So we let
he doesn't get to have fun.
No.
He doesn't. We let them out in the yard. Our yard doesn't have a fence yet because we're working on it. But the dogs they're pretty good. They're very good compared to other dogs. I will say that. I'm very lucky in that sense. And they'll go pee. Sometimes Jorah gets a little tempted and he'll go to the front yard and I have to run over there and be like, get rid of everything else. And he will. But this morning, I let them out and I stand by the door, but they can kind of go around the corner. And then they come back. And out there, I guess he just ran off. He gets distracted by animals. So if he sees an animal, he'll chase it. And then after he's done chasing, he'll just well, now I'm going to go on a walk. And it's great. Asshole, what the fuck?
I'm independent. I don't need no human.
I don't need no leash. I'm cool. There are no leashes on me. And then
ain't no leashes on me.
Yeah. And when we go to a farm or anything, we let them run off leash. Mm-hmm. And they love that. And we did that twice this week. So I think he was just used to being free, and so he just ran off. And the first time I was hysterical because it was nighttime. He was gonna get hit by a car. This time I was fucking fucker. And then I just went back in the house. I got ready. I fed the other dog. I was if he comes back, he comes back. If he doesn't, well, I don't have a dog anymore. in my head.
Roots.
And I was I'm getting more and more angry as time goes by. I was I'm pissed.
Wait, how long was he gone?
8 minutes. Before I fed him. So I packed my car up and I was and then I told my roommate, because we tell each other when we feed the dogs, so we don't double feed them. She's he's gone? She came down, she said, did you find him? I was no, he's gone. She was what the fuck, why are you so chill? And she went outside and I'm just if he wants to be gone, he's gone. Well, the hell, he knows his way home. So then I finally got in my car and started walking or driving around the neighborhood. And we kind of take the same path. So, they usually just go where they know. Mm-hmm. So it looks like that's what he did. And so I was driving and looking in yards because I'm I know he's in someone's fucking backyard. He's fucking chilling. I'm driving down the street and there's my dog whoop, 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 coming out of someone's fucking backyard. What up, Mom?
And you're hey, Mom, what's up?
Yeah, he's
hi.
That's my mom's car. Starts walking towards the car and there's people across the street who were walking their dogs. When you see a dog without an owner, you're just on alert. You're whose dog is that? What's going on?
Where did you come from?
I could see that look in their face while I was in my car. And I was don't worry. And then I slammed on my brakes when I saw him. I got out the car. I was get your ass in the car right now. Get your ass in the car. And he was just And I was like, stay! And they were just like, oh shit, he's in trouble. And I was like, get in there! And I just got in my car and it sped off. And they were just like, what the fuck? Great, I love my dog. He's not abused. He's fine. He's fucking fine. Okay, but he's cute. So a lot of people let him get away with shit because he's cute.
Adorable.
He's adorable.
He
like
is.
even my roommate will be like, it's okay. I was like, it's not fucking okay. Just because his face looks cute, don't mean it's okay. So he went on timeout, and I was very angry. And I was like, now you don't have any freedom. He has to go out on a leash. He gets a collar
you're
back
grounded.
on. He's grounded for a week. He doesn't get to be free for a week. So he'll get to see his friend free, but he didn't get to be free. So he was on timeout, which is just like I put a leash on a doorknob, and he doesn't move for a little bit. And then my roommate sent me a photo of him, his
being
guilty
sad,
face, being super sad because he pulls that card. She's like, can I free him? Fine, it's been long enough. Look at it.
Oh,
I know, it's adorable. We'll post a picture on Instagram.
Steph actually sent me the picture so I can put it on the.
Yeah, it's.
He does look like quite a sad boy. But I totally I totally understand. I think you're being no, because you know what? You this is love. This is love.
And
like.
he's so good. Like we could be off leash and he'll come back. He knows to stay with us. But he gets so like as soon as he sees an animal, all the rules are out.
Instinct. Yeah, that's it.
I'm like, you're too old for this shit. I'm not chasing you. Like you're coming to me.
Like, but you like no. And so it's great that especially that you went out and he just like casually walked up to the car. Like,
he's just like, yeah, because he's just like, I don't understand what I did wrong.
Mom's losing her fucking mind. And preparing for my funeral.
That snap of that you took of Jorah under something.
Oh yeah, that's another story. So we go to this farm, right? Yeah. And like half of it's a farm, private property or whatever. But they have like they open up the kind of woodsy part of it, and there's a bunch of trails and open fields that the dogs can just like run. And they're supposed to be on leash, but if your dog is good, you can let them run. And so, we get there, we park, we're walking towards the open fields, and usually the dogs will walk with us, like good boys. My dog decides to cross the fence, go into the private property, and then continue to take a fucking shit on the private property, and I'm like, get over here!
Sounds like your dog.
Like, you're not taking shit. And I was like, oh god. He's like daughter. And he's like, you were like your owner. I was like, yeah, it's probably something
and
I
was your roommate laughing in the background?
Yeah,
that made that snap 10 times.
I was cracking up in the background like dying. Only your dog would cross into private property and then continue to take a shit. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like me, and I get it. Like, I'm proud. Like, he is my soul, but still, the hell. It's like, I'm a free spirit, I do what I want.
I'm gonna say that dog is your dog.
Yeah.
The dog is, yeah.
I love him.
You're like, I do, I swear.
I do, I swear I love him. He's great, he's good.
As someone that has personally met Jorah, he is a handsome, sweet boy.
He's super handsome. I love him. I love him so much.
What is he?
Good question.
Oh, okay.
He's a dog. I don't know.
So he's like a mix, and he's some unknown mix. Yeah. Because he looks like very unique, but like
they say golden retriever, shepherd lab.
Yeah.
On his papers.
Because his coloring is so nice.
I have so many people that tell me so many different things of what he could be, but he was found like on the side of the road in the rain in Alabama. Which is where I was like,
as a puppy?
Yeah, I was like, who would throw him away? He's so beautiful.
Oh, baby.
As an adult, imagine as a puppy.
Yeah, no, he is a very handsome dog.
Very handsome.
Very handsome looking.
He ended up with me. He's very smart too.
You're like too smart.
Yeah, he acts dumb. Like sometimes he doesn't know where to go for his food. I'm just like, the bowl is the same spot every time. He's like, are we eating now? I was like, go eat your food. But then he'll be smart enough to like maneuver and get in stuff, and I'm like, fuck you.
Actually, I love dogs so much. Dogs are just such.
Dogs are.
Love dogs.
Dogs are a human's best friend.
They're too good for us.
They are too good for us. They really are.
This sounds very weird, but like, I find great wisdom in dogs, and I like strive to be more like a dog, as weird as that sounds, because they don't let anything really attach them. They're like just shamelessly happy, and they show that, they express that without holding back, and they know
how to live life.
They're so joyous. Like when you just watch a dog like run for the sake of running, and to me, I piggyback back off that energy so hard. I just think they're such delightful,
and that's why they don't have to stay
nymphish creatures. They're just these happy, wonderful, frolicking little animals.
Let's all strive to be like doggies.
I know it sounds really weird, but I really would, I wish I could be more like a dog.
If I could die and come back as a dog, yo, my life is made. Literally, you have it with a good owner.
Yeah, you need a good family that's going to rub your belly and give you snacks.
Good owner, you get cuddles, you get love, you get food consistently, you get told how awesome you are, you get to be lazy all day, you get to run around, you don't pay bills, you're fine. You're living life.
You're just, and that's, to me, now we're getting a little deep, but to me, dogs are kind of this metaphor for, humans, where it's dogs don't have to be anything but themselves for us to love them so much. They don't have to perform, they don't have to be a certain kind of, we just love dogs. We love them being themselves, we love their energy, and I'm I just like to try to apply that to humans and myself, and can you feel that way about other people, about yourself? This just this kind of pure innocence of just not demand all these things of yourself, but still find a way to love yourself. Because dogs they don't unless you have a dog that's working for you, it's not doing anything but bringing you joy just by being itself. And to me, that's such a poignant, beautiful thing.
And they don't let the environment kind of face them. Mm-hmm. Even when you rescue dogs, or the dogs have been through so much trauma, and they're still so happy once they find their person. Mm-hmm. They're just here it is. Now I'm happy. They take that moment and enjoy it for what it is, and don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Dogs are great.
They're just beautiful. I miss my dog so deeply. I used to have a dog, and he passed a little bit ago. But I literally think about him all the time. And I'll stumble upon pictures of him all the time, and love that guy. He brought me so much joy. You know what I mean? But I love dogs are just great. If you have a dog and it gives you love, I'm happy for you, because I miss my dog so much.
Shout out dogs.
Doggies.
Cuddle him even though he hates it, because I do that with Jorah.
Woof woof, motherfucker. But to be frank, I feel if I were to come back, I might want to be a cat. I just want to lounge and lay in the sun. And maybe when I want attention from people, I'll go and I'll get it, and then I'll be leave me alone.
I don't want it anymore.
I'm gonna go lay in the sun again. Bye.
Sun laying down all the time. Yeah, cats would be kind of fun too.
Cats got a fucking life, man. I don't know. It's just so funny. Man. But anyway, to digress from the animal kingdom.
What would you guys come back as if you had to choose an animal?
I like what you guys are saying. Dog.
Doggy? You feel dog as well?
Yeah, I think I'd do a dog too.
Dog?
Maybe a wolf.
A lion.
Wolf.
I want to run with a park.
You know what I'm saying? That's definitely.
Wait, okay, this is totally just a dumb question I want to play with. What kind of dog would you be? Do you know what kind of dog you would be?
I'd probably be a pit.
A pit bull. Ah, okay. I can see that. I can see you being a very sweet, loving, Stella.
Like a nice
I can
pit,
see you having Stella energy.
I love pit bulls.
Yeah.
They're so cute. They're so beautiful.
What about you, Steph?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Something majestic.
Yeah, but also outdoorsy,
yeah,
whippets that run really fast.
No, I'm thinking something.
Dogs,
Yeah.
That's a lab.
Yeah.
He's happy as hell, mad at it.
Picture you running with your tongue out
Oh my god! The amount of times Joe's just I'm okay, put your tongue back in your mouth, boy. Yeah. Probably. I mean, if I want, I like to think I'm just I'm gonna be a dire wolf and so badass, and really I'm just
But still, that's why I said majestic.
Yeah.
Because you're still very majestic and beautiful and but you definitely have a good time. That's one of my favorite things about you, is that you know how to have a good time.
Yeah, it can't be too majestic, yes.
Because at the core, dogs are still silly.
Yeah.
No matter how majestic a dog is, at their core, they're fucking silly. And it's awesome. I love seeing majestic dogs just go full tilt silly. Because then it's this being that's so beautiful and powerful, and they're it's so, they don't take themselves seriously, which I love. Dogs are just so fun. I just love them.
There'll be moments where drawer. Like that's how I think he has some sort of hunting dog, and he'll do this dance that's just like very majestic. Like I see something over there, and it's just like so intense. I'm like, wow, you look beautiful. Other times he's just like rolling around in mud because he likes it. He's just like, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck happened? Like,
they don't judge themselves, which is quite refreshing.
Like, I'm living life. What are you doing?
I love it. I just love it.
Great.
We can learn so much from dogs. Like truly, I mean that. Like if you know.
And have you tried rolling around on the floor? It's
so fun. It's so fun.
It's so much fun.
Yeah, Steph did it to me once.
It's great. Force people to roll around on the floor
right now. Stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll. There's a fire in the house.
We should do it. We should do it.
Want to stop, drop, and roll?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, this is the break now.
Here we go.
Okay. Oh God. Stop, drop, drop. Oh God. Rolling. Ow.
Dog.
Happy baby! Happy baby!
Savage and the sexy.
You know, I'm not here very often. Is this a regular thing?
It's becoming a thing now. Now that they're
It's
on
only our
camera.
second episode.
Darling! It's the second season of our lives! That was great.
How'd that feel?
It felt
Had my underwear back up.
And audio listeners, they're back.
It's great. It was.
That's just what I needed. You should try it.
It's great. It really loosens you up, you know. Like I woke up with a little kink in my neck.
Yeah,
It's gone. Look at what I can do now.
I have full range of motion.
It's beautiful.
If you participated in that exercise with us,
Thank you.
we love you.
Love you.
You're in the club now.
We have a club.
Yeah, the Savage and Sexy Club.
Oh yeah, yes. I knew that.
Savage and the sexy.
That's part of that club.
So, anyway, to rolling aside, dogs aside, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy 2022!
Yay!
Honestly, 2022 sounds like it feels good already to me. I know it's very premature because it's literally
Barely.
January 2nd.
I have very low expectations though, so it's like,
But it feels good right now.
I'm gonna keep them pretty low. Go in with good intent, and it's like, what happens, happens. We'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens. Because then, won't be disappointed. It's great. But it's starting off great. Day 2, feeling good. I think it's great.
You sound convinced.
More photos. A lot more production.
A lot more creative activities.
More creative activity. Maybe
Okay.
Steph will get on a song soon.
Yeah! I'll just say it's go. I'm gonna drop my EP this year. SoundCloud, what's up? No, but I mean, are there specific things you're working on?
I mean, to be truthful, I'm working on stuff all the time, but I already kind of like started my, I guess, resolutions like a few weeks ago, and like really the main things I'm working on are pretty internal right now, because to me, I kind of got the external stuff, like I can go to the gym, like I'm working on my career all the time. I'm already doing like all the external stuff that I want, so like for me, it's like I've been working on like trusting the journey more, and like trusting the timing, not just like not allowing my attitude to be the thing that like defeats me, like kind of just holding a lot of space for it to take a long time and to not push myself too much, but just to like trust that it's all adding up, and like still doing my work, like not making sure I'm not being complacent, that trust isn't laziness or not trying, like oh it's just all good. No, like I'm still like really pushing and doing my part, but like for me the main thing of this year is just to really like trust myself in every sense of the word, like, and also trust like that things are working out in the correct and proper timing, because it's very easy for me to get anxious about all of that.
It's a hard balance to do. It's like trusting to let things naturally happen the way they should,
and not push
then
it too much.
Also, make sure you're pulling your weight.
Yeah, like not push too much, but not do anything.
Oh my god, it's so funny. But it's like I'm just gonna, be rich one day, and then they're just sitting on their couch,
like
okay,
waiting for the universe to just fucking like send them $1 million check.
It's not just gonna land on your lap. Like there'll be opportunities that open, but you have to be willing to take it and put in the work or whatever it is that you're going through.
You have to build momentum through action, and like I also think like through thought, and like, and I don't like, I think people can get kind of stuck in the way that they think about things sometimes, and like they think that they have to feel too positively, or like that they can't feel hopeless, or that. I'm like, to me, like I've really been, I guess, like I'm getting deep right away here, but like I've been focused on the phrase unshakable faith and like what that means to me. And like that's something that I've like tossed around my head, because like I've been, like you guys know from watching the show or listening, like I've gone through a lot of depression, and like I'm always managing like really big emotions in myself, and like just trying to get to tomorrow for the most part. And like for me, like I've been sort of like, all right, like I felt very hopeless and very afraid and very anxious, and like sometimes like I feel like I want to tap out. Like I literally battle with these feelings often, and like I've realized that like true unshakable faith to me is feeling fear and doubt and hopelessness, feeling like maybe it won't work out, maybe even believing it, but if you're still here and you're still trying, the core of you that is what unshakable faith is to me. It's not about everything, it's not blind faith. To me, blind faith and unshakable faith are very different.
Very, very different.
To me, unshakable faith is this weak but persistent thing that won't die. And no matter how doubtful and fearful and, you're
still going to show up.
You're still going to show up.
People who are like, oh yeah, I have faith, and then two things go wrong. They're like, oh God, it's not meant to me. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, no, you still are doing what your work,
even amidst doubt and fear,
in
you're
the
still
storm
doing it
to get to the other side. I like that unshakable faith.
And that's a phrase that's really like deeply resonating with me lately. And I've realized like the past 2 years, if you ask me, like my mindset has been like very dark, and like I've been doing a lot of work to like try to get out of it. But I've realized that like I have more faith than I give myself credit for, and that I'm stronger, and like I know all these things about myself, but I feel like it's something that you relearn again and again.
Oh, yeah,
you forget it and then you relearn it. You forget it and then you're tested again. You forget it and then you have to reinforce it. And like I've realized like maybe like my attitude and my depression and all of the feelings that I battle with and work with like on a daily basis, like those things have all created unshakable faith within me. And like unshakable faith it sounds glorious, it sounds triumphant. To me, it's not. It's just this persistence, that won't, and it insists, but in like this very soft way. Because like if you ask me, I'm very doubtful, very fearful, and very anxious.
I think a lot of people perceive it a little bit wrong when they think about like faith. They're like, oh, it needs to be this.
It's like I believe. I'm not saying I don't doubt. I'm not saying I don't fear. I'm not. Like I go through all these. I'm very human. I allow myself to be human. I allow myself to feel. I feel like I'm supposed to feel those things, because at the end of the day, the thing that's supporting those feelings is that grain of faith that's kept me here and keeps me doing what I love and keeps me working and meeting people and not like succumbing to like that. So like for me, that's been like very powerful and like very like I feel like I'm starting the year like on a very good note. And like I still I cry all the time. I cried last night, and I go through episodes literally almost every day. But like I'm able to do that and still feel good. Like I'm literally able to have like these moments of intense doubt and fear and sit with myself there. But then like after the moment has passed, like I'm like that's where the faith is. And now I can just go about my day. Like I released the fear, I felt it, I allowed myself to feel it and just sit with it, and now like I can go and just fucking do the thing that I'm here to do, that I love to do. And even like, so like to me that's really the core of it. It's just like if you love doing something, like just don't let that faith die. And like you don't have to feel positive. You can literally fucking hate your life and hate what's going on, but like the faith beneath all of that, like
it's what drives
you.
You get that motivation to if you don't like the situation you're in, you change it. And you have faith that you have the ability to.
And if you can't change it right away, like you endure and you trust my theme, you trust that you can endure. And it's like I know that I can. I know that I'll come out the other side. So like for me, like that's this unshakable faith, I realize, is something that's like deeply poignant to me, and it's something that I've just been thinking about a lot lately. And I'm like,
yeah, I love that. That takes a lot of like self-awareness, like digging deep. That's like takes a lot of digging deep and just really realizing what's real. You know what I'm saying? Because you people don't realize like you make things real.
Yeah, you make it true. You believe. You choose what's true. Yeah,
exactly.
Literally episodes.
So that's why I hate it when people sometimes, like, let's say you're doing something, it's like, oh, but you gotta be realistic. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know. When somebody's saying that to you,
yeah, what does that mean to you?
What does that actually mean? What do you mean realistic? You can make anything real.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I think it's good to have that self-check of, we kind of talked about this before, being a little bit realistic, but I think that word can sometimes be misconstrued. It's like realistic in the ways of like, let me make digestible steps to like, I'm not gonna tomorrow be a millionaire or tomorrow suddenly be super flexible. Let me set my goals realistically to say, okay, this week I can do this, and then next week I can work on this, and like,
systematically over time,
exactly.
It's stepping stones.
So I feel
to
like
the
a
goal.
lot of times it's like I talk about a big goal, someone's just like, let's be realistic. I was like, well, I'm not saying this is gonna happen tomorrow. Like I'm saying this is what I'm striving for. So there's people that use that as an excuse to be like, I'm not gonna dream big.
That's exactly the context I was talking. I don't like when people,
I'm not gonna dream big because I have to think about what's gonna happen next month.
When somebody tries to shut down like a really bold goal that you have, and they try to shut it down by saying, like, you gotta be realistic though.
Oh my gosh, you know how many times I heard that before I went freelance? There's like, realistically though, like how you're gonna make money.
Realistic for you, but not for me.
Just because you're scared to do it, I love doing this, I'm gonna do it.
Literally just making that. Just because you're scared of doing it doesn't mean you're
or you don't see yourself succeeding in that, or you can't imagine how it would come to light. And like that will show you like how limited that person's thought process is. And
like the people who were saying it to me were the people who were unhappy with their situation.
But
you don't even like your job, you don't like what you're doing.
But they don't have the courage. Yeah, they don't have the courage.
But you're telling me not to go for my dreams?
But that's because to me that's inherently this thing where like there's a fear in them that they extend to you because they don't allow themselves that unshakable faith to even try. Right. And I was like Baldwin, like what you said, there's something else I've been thinking about a lot, and I realized like fuck being reasonable. Fuck that. I don't want to be reasonable. No, like I know what I want. I know what I want to experience, but I mean that in the best way. Like don't tell me what's realistic. Don't tell me what I can accomplish. Don't tell me what's
actually offensive. It really is.
It's offensive. I don't want to be reasonable.
Got worked up, but I get worked up too when I hear that. It's like it's offensive. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, fuck that.
You're supposed to be my people. Like, what do you mean?
It's one thing if you believe it for yourself, but it's more so like you can have your thoughts of what's probable and what's likely, and you can have your doubts about what you're capable of, and I can too. That's the thing. I will and I do, but I'm fucking unreasonable and I don't care. Like I'm going for it. I don't care if it's unreasonable.
They're gonna bring up to you, you've probably already thought about, and like I appreciate people who are close to me and are actually thinking about it in a way of being productive. Like that's great. Love that you're doing that. Okay, so what's your plan if this and this happens? Like that's different. But like for people who are random or just like, oh god, you're gonna go too big. It's like, bitch, I already thought about all the doubts. Yeah. That's why I know to take these steps. Like again, going back to like going freelance. Like, well, what are you gonna do when to this and what are you gonna do that? It's like, yeah, I've already thought about that because my mind is going to doubt myself more than anybody else.
And you plan too. You plan and things don't work out. So it doesn't you just gotta make a deal with yourself. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna fucking find a way. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna. You know what? I'm gonna expect it to not go to plan.
I admire people that I've run into like y'all that just be taking chances and just have the courage.
Oh my god, yeah.
That just have the courage to try some new shit and just jump into it like head on. Like I admire that. So when people like hit you with the opposite and like try to like implant their own doubt like we're talking about, then that's when it's just like weird. Like I don't know. I've run into it sort of recently.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's really annoying, especially when it's from people that you've known for so long.
Yeah.
And and it sucks too when people try to sell you something that they sold themselves on.
Yeah.
But you know them so well where you know that they could be something so much bigger.
Yeah.
But they're stuck
they
on.
don't believe the doubt and the fear are winning.
Literally. Again, going back to people
like
who
somebody
are,
like trying to sell me on a pension. I don't give a fuck about a pension. You get your pension when what? Most jobs when you're like in your 60s? What are we talking about? You're talking about something that you'll get in your 60s, 65.
And I get planning for the head, but it's like I'm talking about right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking about the next 5 years, not
or the broad goal that me and y'all may have is no pension will ever match whatever the hell we have in our head, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. It's just like opening. I don't know. It's hard because you can't really convince somebody. It's hard to even
And if they don't see it for themselves, it's hard to convince, because I've had friends who, you know, they do have big dreams, and I see the potential.
Just to understand. Like, I'm trying to have you understand what I'm trying to do.
I see their potential. I see that they could do so much more, and they're, I don't want to say settle per se, but they've already accepted the fact that they can't achieve more.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to bring it to like, well, realistically, this and that, and I'm only going to do this. So it's like, but you're holding yourself back.
But I mean,
like, you could do more if you wanted to. Like, you can push more. Like, there's no reason why you can't do X, Y, and Z.
The
if you
root
want to
of
do
all of it is fear, though.
Yeah.
It's fear of what if I don't. It's like, it can be so many different things, but it's like fear of what if I don't have what it takes? Mm-hmm. What if something blocks me and I can't figure it out? What if I pour all of myself into this and it doesn't deliver? What it, like, there's so many, and like, I get it, and that's where unshakable faith comes in. Like, I get it. Like, there's so many things to be afraid of. There's so many things to worry about. There's so many things that can go wrong. So many so many risks that you're taking. But like, I don't know if I've ever talked about this book, but one of like the most influential books I've ever read in my life is called, I never remember authors. I always feel so sorry, like, that I never remember the author's name. Yeah, and plug it in, but like, I highly recommend. It's a super short read. It's called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Mm-hmm. And it's literally, the book is like, it's like less than like 150 pages. It's like the font is big, like it, but like you can crush it in like 3 hours. But like, essentially, this book changed my life, like in a very subtle, quiet way, because essentially, like, it helped me realize and make peace with the fact that like, you're never not gonna be afraid. If you have big goals and big dreams, or not even big, but if you have stuff that you want and the thought of getting it makes you anxious, but you also feel a call or a desire to try, like, you're going to be afraid. Like, humans by nature are afraid of the unknown. We're afraid of uncertainty. We wrestle with anxiety. We like things to be known fact. But like, if you want anything in life, if you want something deeply for yourself and it's so big or so poignant to you that it scares you and makes you doubt even potentially trying to accomplish it, to me it's like, okay, you want this thing, like, accept that you're going to be afraid. Yeah. Accept that you're not going to feel confident. You're not going to feel self-assured. You're not going to feel, I think people expect like this fearlessness. Like, people talk to me and they're like,
society would be like, failure is such a bad thing that they can't see it as an opportunity.
That they can't embrace, or they can't embrace it.
It's always an opportunity to grow. Like, you learn from it, you adjust, you make those
decisions. And you will be fine after you fail. Like, your ego might take a hit, you will recover. You will be fine.
And you'll come back stronger, and a lot of people can't see that. They fail once, that's it.
And it's like the end of the world. But it's like, this book really allowed me to be less to be afraid still, but be less afraid of feeling it, and less afraid to hold
almost
space.
Almost using fear as a motivation of
literally, or to accept it and to like almost become friends with it. Use it as a superpower. Like, I know that I'm gonna be. It's just a fucking fact. I know.
I feel like if someone's doing something they're not afraid. It's like, okay, you're either too cocky or you don't take it serious.
I don't even know.
Not even too cocky, but it's just like,
yeah.
I still get, like, even going to modeling things, like, I still have a fear of, like, okay, what if I'm not exactly what the client
Dude, shout out Francesco. I was, like, terrified to work with him because I respect him so, and I want to do
but it's so well. You're like, I'm so excited. I'm like, even if there's a dance rehearsal, like, every time I performed, I was scared before hitting the stage, and then you just use that.
And you just,
get through it. It ends up being great, but I'm like, if I don't think I'd ever have a case where it's like I would not be scared performing and doing what I love to do, but still, it doesn't matter what agenda, even if posting on Instagram a dance video, like, I'm still scared to put that out there because it's being vulnerable, showing a side of myself.
Or when I put boudoir out there, I feel a little nervous depending on what it is. Like, when I put even these episodes, to be perfectly real, being so candid and being so vulnerable and truly, like, this podcast and this has allowed me to really practice just like being myself and letting it be okay for other people to see who I am and what I believe, because I've had a fear my whole life of sharing too much of myself, because if I share too much of myself, then people can use that to judge me and make their own assumptions about me, and they don't know who I am. So let me not share my opinions that much, because I don't want anyone to use that against me. And it's like, no, but you need to be yourself, Amanda. You need to just say what you have to say. You need to say your truth. And so this podcast has been a really great way for me to slowly, systematically conquer my fear. Yeah, like every time we film, like, I love doing this. I get so much out of it, but there's always a fear every time, you guys, we're doing this.
I honestly, even Baldwin does a great job. I love you, but I have not watched it because
Which is fair.
you haven't watched the whole
No, but
thing?
we talked about some. Yeah, we talked about. I
It's
get
hard
it.
sometimes to kind of
To
see
face
that,
yourself,
because
yeah.
then I'm always pointing out things like, oh, this is wrong, or like, or why did I say that, or this, that, and it's like, I know that depending on that state of mind that I'm at, when it's good for me to listen to myself or review myself, or if I go on a date and people find out I have a podcast, they're like, oh, I want to listen. I'm like, let's wait, pause, because literally our first episode we talked about
introduce
areolas.
myself first.
Yeah, even that, I'm still like, I should be plugging myself. Should be like, yeah, here you go. But I'm just like, you know what? Like, let's hold off until you know me a little bit longer, so that then you can.
May I say that's it's an easier one. I think it'd be an easy one for you to listen to because for the most part it's very just.
That one's probably easier.
Yeah, it's just a fun listen.
Yeah.
We did get a little deep when it came to like the weight loss talk and just having the resolutions and stuff like that.
Which I live for depth. I'm sorry, I love that.
I know it's
shit.
great. I love it. I love these
that
conversations.
shit.
It's awesome.
But I'm saying,
like,
we really
active bit.
sometimes y'all really get in your bag about like certain topics, and I can understand when it gets like that. I can understand like
It's very but to me that is like, and I'm very happy to conquer that fear because I truly believe that like when you're vulnerable and you're open and you're raw, that's how you connect.
Yeah.
That's how you touch people. That's how you unlock things inside of people, expand their perceptions of themselves. And like, to me, truly, like that's my goal is like, I come on here and like I say so much shit and like we're silly and like we don't take ourselves seriously, but like I truly hope that conversations like the one we're having right now can like give people access to like be more open with them, to let yourself be afraid and have it be okay. And you were saying like every time you take that risk it usually works out well, which I do agree with, but like it's not always gonna work out well, and that's fine too. Like you're not here to fucking succeed absolutely at everything. Like you're here to learn and to give yourself space to learn, and the only way that you give yourself space to learn is if you're like, it's okay if I fail, I'm gonna put myself out. In fact, I might even strive to fail sometimes because I want to get comfortable. I don't want to get too into myself that I can't even be comfortable with failing. Because to me, everything is on the other side of fear. Everything that you want, everything that you could want to build in your life, if you can push through the fear and not try to get around it or be above it or like be like, I'm not afraid, I'm fearless. Like fuck that. I don't want to be fearless. I want to be human, and I want to be human. I've been seriously.
What did Will Smith say? The best things in life are on the other side of fear.
They are! Absolutely. And like, the only way out is through. The only way out is through. Like, and that's a phrase that speaks to me so much because I have so much fear and so much anxiety and so much grief and things inside of me that I work through literally every day. But like, to me, I'm like, if I can sit with all of these feelings and still feel them and still feel hopeless and depressed and all this stuff, and I can still come out of the other side of fear and still do what I love to do because I've given myself the space to let it be okay for me to fail or to look foolish or to like, and I don't say that to be mean to myself, but like you're not gonna know how to do a lot of things, and if you let the fear of looking a certain way stop you, you will never get what you are seeking. No. Like you have to be okay with fucking failing. So I encourage you, fucking fail. Get okay with it. Like, fuck being perfect. Like, fuck being, like, getting everything right the first time. Like, to me, like, that, you don't need that. That's useless.
I think the biggest thing, and I've heard this from, I think it was on My Favorite Murder, it's just, like, people have that expectation of, like, when you're learning to do something, you're never going to get it right the first time. You need to give your space the time to learn it and actually do it. So like whether that's a behavior change or an actual talent, you're not going to magically be great at the piano. Like you have to give yourself the time to actually learn that skill. So like when people get themselves down because they did something 2 or 3 times and they're not getting perfect on it, like the video they see on Instagram or whatever it is, it's like you have to give yourself the time to actually learn this skill. Like it's never going to be like that. Even people who are Mozart or where the fuck.
No, Mozart worked his whole fucking life to be a master.
Failed. Yeah, like it's not so like many it happened overnight.
Mozart was like fucking destitute. Literally, like so like, and it's just like it's to me that's like the biggest favor you can do for yourself is to let the experience humble you.
Give yourself room.
Let the process humble you. Like we like let yourself be human. Like we have, and like this is me getting like really spiritual, but I think like this is my theory, like it's very easy to feel bad about stuff like that, because like I feel like the divinity within me, and that is like, I know that that's capable of anything, and it's like this power that can do anything, and like it can like nothing will stop it, and I can feel that part of myself so strongly, but it's still within a human body, and
you
it's
still have to allow it room to manifest.
And I'm through your human body, and like that's where it's like, okay, yeah, you might feel like, why can't I be good at something? Why am I not perfect? I don't understand why I'm not smart enough, or why I'm not this enough to be able to grasp this thing or learn it quickly. Because you're fucking human, and because the process is supposed to humble you, and because it's not about you feeling competent or about you feeling masterful, or it's not about you feeling good at something. It's about you giving your space to get good at something by getting out of the fucking way. Get out of the fucking way.
Get out of the way.
Stop judging yourself. Just let yourself learn. Let yourself fuck up. Like, and it's this is all very hard to do, and like I do it all the time, so like I feel like I've gotten really good at it, but like just get good at stepping out of yourself and just looking at yourself like through the eyes of this non-judgmental, omniscient force that's just like, all right, like what's the big picture? Let me get out of my feelings, get out of my ego, and just like let myself be a human. That's like, I like to think of it like a toddler. Like I know that you have a nephew, like he's very small, you love him dearly. Like some of our listeners probably have children or nieces or nephews in their life that they love dearly that are small. When children are learning, you don't berate them. You don't tell them they're stupid. You don't tell them, why can't you get it? Why can't you? You sit there and you hold the space for them to be, oh, you fell, it's okay. Get back. No, it's okay, get back up. You can cry, that's okay, but try again. You're very gentle with them. You hold this space for them to be imperfect, and through that, they learn how to be human. Like, it's the same thing with yourself. Like,
the best advice I got was something similar to that. When you do something wrong, or you fuck up, or you have a failure, talk to yourself as if you're your toddler self.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time I'll do something like, oh, you're a fucking idiot, or this and that. I was like, would I tell that to my 4-year-old self?
No.
Absolutely not.
And if you are, like, fuck you.
Okay, yeah.
Fuck you.
If you are, let's talk about your trauma.
Yes.
And
but fuck you too. Sorry.
But like, if you can be a little bit mindful of that, like when you do fuck up and you're finding yourself in that headspace of like, okay, what would I tell my 4-year-old self if they made this mistake or made this stumble? It's like, okay, that happened. Now let's think about a way of adjusting it. Try again, whether or not it's
assuage the fear.
There is literally almost nothing that can't be fixed or can't be adjusted and tried again, unless murdering someone. But that's called manslaughter.
There are exceptions.
Things like that. Some things are accidental deaths. But
it always comes back to murder.
Only because one day I know I'm gonna have to plead my case.
No, stop it! That episode's gonna be
real. It is wrong, but but I'm just saying.
Remember, I will help you bury the body.
Thank you.
I'm really good at losing things.
Everybody, this is for entertainment purposes only. For entertainment purposes, nobody's killing nobody.
About some cool types of poisons.
Set the game. Kill the game, son.
Some natural.
Yeah, the only thing we killing is the game.
Hard left into murder.
What?
Stabby, stabby, stab.
Stabby.
Torture. Me. Sorry.
Only I take something so serious. I'm just like, stop. But seriously, like, it's just like there's a lot of things. There's nothing that's like not fixable for you to adjust and work on yourself, and it's not the end of the world unless it literally is the end of the world. But usually it's not. So we're pretty good.
But you said something that, like, I think I don't know. This was very poignant for me to hear, so I hope this resonates with somebody. But you mentioned how you berate yourself and you start saying, "Oh, I'm fucking stupid, fucking idiot, fucking," and like I know so many people can identify with that voice in their head that starts judging themselves extremely harshly and critically and like saying, and that voice for me used to be so strong. It was like the only thing I can hear. It was like this critique constantly, but like not in a nice way. Like, and like I'm just gonna really fucking rip you apart and like and like truly like I mean like I'm definitely not like old, but I'm old enough now to know and kind of take the wisdom from all these experiences that I've had. Like that voice that comes into your head that berates you and tells you that you're not worthy or that you're stupid or that you can't do it. That fear voice that, that I work against every day. Not even against, that I work with every day. Like I'm not fighting it, like I work with it. It's a friend to me on some level because I need to intimately know it. But that voice that's everything the world's told you.
Yeah.
Coming back into you, and that's the world's perfection, that's the world's demands, that's the pressure of the world telling you that in order to be of any value, you need to be a functional member of society, giving back, producing. And if you're not producing, if you're not creating for the whole, then you are, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why can't you get it?
Like how quick it goes in your mind, and like I have to take a second and be like, you know what? No, actually,
to recognize it that it's not you. That it's not. But that's the thing I mean to say. It's not so you speaking that.
And then I'm just like, you know what? No, everyone makes mistakes. It's gonna be fine. I don't know. Like, stop saying that, or like saying sorry for everything as a woman. It pisses me off, and it's just like instantly, like there'll be someone that doesn't even say excuse me or walks by and like bumps into, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, why did I apologize? You're like, I'm not sorry. No, you should have said excuse me, and then I walk away. And it's like trying to like actually find those patterns and be aware of it. Yeah, it's very hard because it comes so naturally to be like boom, 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 boom.
Well, I mean, if we're getting into neuroscience, like it's literally programming. Like our emotional patterns are programmed, and unless you have experiences that cause you to be conscious of what you, because I remember, I think I told the story about I don't know if I told the story on here about the first time I heard myself. Like actually, like I remember that moment when I was like, I became aware of myself, and like, and it sounds so silly. Like you're like, how can I not? So like, I don't know if I've told the story, but it was like a very defining moment in my life. Like I think I was like maybe 23. I had a job that really caused me a lot of anxiety, and my anxiety was very sharp at this time. I was trying to learn how to use it, and it was like crippling. So like I changed my major from performance to art because performance became so anxiety inducing for me. And I was really struggling a lot to just like handle my social anxiety, and it would like literally like bring me to tears. And like the job that I had was I remember I was getting ready for work, and I knew that I had to leave in like an hour, and I remember feeling such horrible like just trepidation and dread that I would have to go and do this. And like I had a full-on meltdown. Like I started crying, and like I made myself lay down because I was like, you need to calm down because like you literally have to leave for work in an hour. So like lay down, just breathe, like just try to get a hold of yourself, like get your shit together, like we gotta go, right? And I remember I was laying down, and I think this is I don't know what happened, but I entered like some other sort of state. Like I wasn't trying to meditate per se, but I think I might have accidentally like done something. But like I remember I was closing my eyes, and like I was sitting in my anxiety and just like feeling it and trying to like calm myself down and just get ready to go to work. And like there was this voice in my head, and it was like I had this thought all the time. This thought was reoccurring every single day. I would think it multiple times a day, and I would say to myself, I was like, I would say I don't want to die, but I just feel like life is so lackluster and it's not even worth living. And like I would say that to myself and I believed it. Like I really would get up every day and just not know. Just feel like I don't have the courage. Like I'm getting very deep, and like I don't want to trigger anyone here, so I apologize, but like I would wake up every day and just feel like, all right, like I don't want to kill myself, but like I don't have the courage to kill myself. I'm not brave enough to do that. So like I'm just stuck here living this lackluster life that I think is not worth it. And like I was that person for a long time, and that day I heard that voice. Like I heard it for the first time, even though I had said that thought to myself again and again, and it just didn't, the gravity of it just didn't register. It didn't, and like now I'm like, the fact that I had like that day, there was another voice inside of me, and like if you ask me now, like it was the idea of the concept of my higher self. And I heard that voice, I heard that thought, like it's just not worth living. And this voice that wasn't me came in, and it was like, did you hear what you just said? It literally said that to me. Did you hear what you just said? And I was like, and what do you mean? Like, and it was like say it again, like repeat it again. And I like in my head I said like, okay, like my like life is I don't want to die, but like life is lackluster and it's just not worth living. And I don't know what it was, guys, but like, and it still makes me emotional. Like I felt the gravity of those words. It was like I listened to them for the first time, and I felt what they meant. And that feeling was, this is not okay. It's not okay for me to feel this way. This is sad. This is so upsetting. This is so sad. This is like, how have I gotten to this point where this is my truth? Where this is, and like I had said that for so long without hearing it. Like just on autopilot, it just circulating through my head, believe it. And like that day, like that's all it took was this voice coming from outside of me that said, listen to yourself. Like, did you hear what you just, and like that one question like woke me up. And like after that, like it still makes me feel like that's a defining moment of my life. It wasn't big, it wasn't dramatic, nothing happened to me.
But it still means a lot.
But it was so poignant, and I heard myself. And that's the day where I was like, and that's the day where I started really working on myself from the inside out, where I was like, I need to look inside of myself because I've realized I've become somebody who has become okay with feeling this way. And I have so much reverence for life. I think life is truly an honor. I feel such an honor to be, even with my depression, and I feel such an honor to be able to live this human experience and to be here and to know people like you. Like it literally takes my breath away to like sit in this room and like know that I've got people that I get to be like lucky enough to like feel these things and live with these people, and like even through all of it and all the pain, like I have so much reverence and respect for this, and like, but I only arrived at this place because I realized that I had become okay with not having it. And I'm like that, and like that day changed my life. And like, I'm not saying it didn't flip like that, but my thought flipped like that. It was like a fucking switch. And like ever since that day, like I can't, like I still suffer a lot and like struggle a lot, but like that voice has been like guiding me since that day and just making me show up for myself and like look at myself and listen. What are you saying, Amanda? What are you feeling? Like, what is your truth? Like, listen to what you're saying to yourself and like really hear it, digest it, absorb it. Like, what does it mean? Like, is it okay? Is this what you want your life to be? Is this who you want to be? And like, I decide. And like that day I was like, I'm deciding today, I don't want to be this. And that I'm not complacent, and I'm not just gonna let myself be okay with feeling like my life is like, that's not fucking okay. I get one life, I get one body, I get to be the privilege of being this person once, the privilege of knowing all these people once in my life. Like, I'm not gonna fucking allow that to just be wasted. And I'm not saying it's easy, and like it's hard all the fucking time. My job is to digest and unravel all of those feelings so that I can give myself the privilege of being here and not have it feel, I don't want that taken away from me. When I die, I want to know that I love myself and I love my life, and maybe it wasn't perfect and I wasn't perfect, but I loved myself and I loved this experience, and like I'm like that it was an honor, and that it like I don't want to die and just think like, oh, I'm gone, it's over, like now I'm free from all of this, I hate myself so much. Like
the part where you're like, oh, I'm not brave enough or having the courage enough to end it or complete any of that. But like I saw it differently when I went through that phase of like my low. I would have very similar thoughts of like, I can't do this, I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm literally sweating. It makes me very anxious to think about.
It makes you feel.
But I thought about the other way where it's just like, I'm not going to take the easy way out. Yeah. I'm not going to put that on my family. I'm not going to do all this stuff because my father. And it was so, oh fuck. So it was, don't cry. No, we're gonna get through it together. And there was such a fear of me ending up like him and going through that low and living a lie of like being so bubbly and excited, and everyone had this expectation of I'm so happy all the time. Fuck. I thought I could do this, I don't know.
You felt like a pressure to be like that all the time.
That's so much.
So okay.
You got it. You can do it.
I got it. But when I was going through that, I think my switch was like, I don't want to be this fake person. Like, I don't want to pretend to be happy. I want to be happy. I want to be happy being myself. I want to be happy and loving myself. And that was kind of my day where I realized I needed to talk to someone. Because as a person of color, we're taught to be tough. We're taught to you know, just endure, be
Pull
thankful you have a
yourself
roof
up,
over your
yeah.
head, like things like that, where it's just like, even if everything is great in your life, you need to talk to someone, you need to go to therapy, you need to do something. It took me a really, really long time to tell myself it was okay to say that I need help. And oh God, I still struggle to tell myself that it's okay, that I need that. Obviously I'm not in that dark of a place anymore, thank God, but it was just like, I always have dreams of dying, and death is always kind of around me, but when I was in that space, it was just like, I could just walk off the bridge, and maybe it will feel good to fall. Maybe it will feel good to just let go. And it was just kind of those thoughts of saying, like, you can't do that to your mom, or you can't do that to your friends, like, it's this ripple effect after the fact of what, like, I knew it wasn't just me, so that's why I couldn't do it. And then telling myself, like, well, why can't you go get help? Like, what's stopping you? Like, people are gonna think you're broken because you go to therapy. People are gonna judge you because you actually need to talk to someone. Like, getting over that fear of, if they realize I'm not okay, suddenly they don't want to be my friend anymore. Suddenly they're gonna judge me. All these things.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, especially like being a Hispanic, like, God forbid you talk about something that's wrong. They're just like, you know what, you're fine, you have a roof over your head, kind of get over it.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it was so hard to allow myself to
Give
say,
yourself permission.
Give myself permission to say, I need to do what's good for me regardless of everything else. Because it's not like I could really open up too much without it feeling that judgment.
Yeah.
And so it took a long time for that, but I understand that voice of like, all these doubts going through your heads, and the other voice saying, like, what the fuck? Like, you don't want to live this way. Why are we living this way?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Why do we allow this?
Why are we allowing this? So many moments of just like sobbing in the shower and being like, what the fuck? And then just like get dressed and put a smile on. You're like, okay, like everything's fine. Like, I would honestly, like, the lowest of low, like, no one would probably even know that's what was actually going on, because we just go out into the world and society expects us to just smile and be okay, and it kind of ties into that toxic positivity of, well, just push it to the side and it's going to be great, but the only way to the other side is through, and you have to process those feelings, and you have to go through it, and you have to be able to look at yourself objectively and say,
without your feelings being involved.
Right. And that's so hard to do.
It's a skill. It's a skill that needs to be worked and developed.
Especially to do on your own.
That type of self-awareness that you guys are both talking about is gotta be the hardest thing ever for anybody. And it's literally like, it doesn't stop.
No,
as
you just deeper and deeper layers
deeper
of
and
the
deeper
self.
and deeper. You're always gonna keep learning
the
about
hole
yourself.
goes,
but the better you get at it, and the more you understand yourself, the better you can live your life.
And the more comfortable you get at diving down to those depths. And I just like feel like I need to say this because you mentioned it, but like I don't want to be emotional again, but I might be. But like you accomplish that though. Like you really do put out the energy that you want to put out. Like I feel like you feel like fucking sunlight. Like you are like, I'm not even bullshitting you. Like you are like one of the most like magnetic, light, like positive for it. And I know like I have even more respect for it because I know where it comes from now. Like I would never have ever guessed that about you, ever. But like you have so much, like that's why you're so light. And I know you don't feel it all the time, but like your like radiance shines from like that place. And like you are such a like, you've built yourself up so much from like that fear. And like I know like it's still really tender, but like that, like you are like such an amazing person. And like you, the energy, like you said, I want to be happy. I want to feel it for like, to me, like I feel that from you. And I'm not saying like you can be that and you can still be this at the same time. And like that's what being human is. It's like looking at the things that have caused you such great suffering and still being able to see through them and like
and learn from them
and
evolve from
and
them.
like the inner part of you, like fortify that, like fortify the being. Like to me, the center of your being is this bright, shining like force of like love, and like I feel like that's honestly why I fucking like that's like to me I like admire that so much in you, like so much, like, and I feel like maybe I don't tell you enough, and like I'm gonna make sure to tell you more, but like I truly like it's like very poignant and like touches me on like a level that you don't even realize, and like you inspire me to like reach for that and to find that and to be lighter and to be less serious and to just, you know, and like that, like for someone like me who is very serious and has a lot of depth and dives very deeply into like her darkness, like I need that, and I need people like you to anchor me in this place of light. So like, but it doesn't have like you're not like you can still feel all those
and I
things.
think it did take therapy to realize that I need to be vulnerable. I need to be able to share the sides of me that aren't as sunshiny, because that gives it more depth. It gives people more of an understanding. My therapist put it in a really great way that I didn't realize. It's like I didn't ever want to tell people when I'm having a bad day or anything like that, because I didn't want to ruin their day.
Get it on them, yeah.
Yeah, like I didn't want to extend
your
my
energy towards
negativity
them.
as much as I did my happiness and stuff like that. And then her reaction was like, well, what if they want to be the shoulder to lean on? Like, what if they want to be there for
What
you?
if they
like,
want to support you?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're your friends.
What if they want to love you?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about it that way, because I want to be that person that people can turn to and be like, yes, let's talk about this thing, this feeling. But I wasn't allowing my friends to be there for me.
Right.
And it took a while for me to understand that. And of course, talking to someone who can
unpack it, see it inside of you when you can't see it yet.
It's hard to do it on your own. It's a good thing to practice, but like if you can
get help
and afford it, talk to someone. Even if you think things are going well, it's really good to get that insight.
There's always something below the surface. There's always something to, and like we like circling back like to like the more scientific aspect. Like I read a lot about all this stuff, but like the brain really, we're giant, really complex, beautiful computers. And remember, when you have a computer, you have to literally manually uninstall software. You have to manually update it. You have to in order to keep it functioning well and running well. And like the human brain is the same thing. Like when you go to therapy, like a good therapist will help you become aware of the programs that you're running in the background that you aren't conscious of. And they'll, like through the way that you speak, the word choices that you use, the way that you answer questions, they can begin to see like the inner workings of all the programs that subconsciously run you. And like, I'm getting really deep here, but like, they've done so much research on this, but like most people are like, unfortunately, repeating the same emotional programs like you think like 95% of your thoughts you think are the same every fucking day. And like the human brain is so plastic though. Humans are so adaptable and malleable, but we only adapt and grow and change if we're conscious of it, and then we choose. And so that to me, like the stigma of therapy is like when you said like, you know, in a Hispanic families, I know that, like I'm not Hispanic, but I've seen that. And like there's a lot of people that have this kind of stigma to therapy, and it's like, I'm sorry, but like I have such reverence for the body and humans, and I know how complex we are, and like it is fucking mind-blowing and takes my breath away how complex we are. And if you think that you have yourself entirely figured out, you are wrong.
You're wrong.
You are way more complex than that. You are way more complicated than that. You are not a simple being, and that's fucking amazing. Like, give yourself credit. Like, we're so big and complicated. Like, we are the most like complex, like sophisticated computers on the planet.
There's always so much more for you to learn about yourself, and I feel like a lot of people get stuck in the behaviors and things they needed to do back then for past trauma. They don't realize that they're repeating it now that they don't have
Or circling back to fear, and how you were telling people tell you they put their fear on you because they're and then they, and like that's the thing, fear perpetuates. If you're not conscious, fear spreads, and it spreads in all sorts of ways. Like, you know, like Baldwin, you were saying how you had a conversation recently where somebody put that fear on you, and they probably did it because they cared about you and they don't want you to end up failing. But it's fuck that. Like, like, and this is why it's so important to become aware and conscious. It's because you need to unravel the programs that you aren't aware of that are causing you to react in ways that you don't want to do, or to close up in ways that you don't want to or to cut yourself off from opportunities.
At some point you might have needed that for that past trauma.
You did need it, which is why you have it. Yeah.
I have it. But now you have to learn to unlearn it and
let
then
it go.
learn a new behavior. Again, you can't just learn things out of fresh air if you haven't done that. Like if I'm learning on communicating, being vulnerable, I never had to do that for the last 25 years until I was like finally going to therapy, and then I was learning to do that. Like I didn't suddenly gonna know how to communicate well. Like,
and I mean,
so can I just chime in something with Steph, what you're saying of just about like Hispanic families? Because I understand that. Big Rich, I'm sure you will understand that too. But while I advise to anybody that is dealing with some stuff, and let's say your family is just like, that's just not how they rock, they're you know, whatever, that stigma, be the first to break that chain, because it like Amanda was saying, it's for yourself. It's for yourself. You gotta do it for yourself. You owe it to yourself.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you know what you need. You just have to have the courage to go ahead and do it. Like,
and it's not to say you won't appreciate everything, because of like, you know, a lot of these families are immigrants. Like you're coming from humble beginnings, like where my mom grew up.
they're not doing it on purpose.
You know what I mean? Like they like they're like, there is a lot to be grateful for, and like you can still be grateful for that, and then realize there's still work to be done for yourself.
So over the years, this is the closest I've ever been with my mother. As of recent, right? I'm 30, and maybe between these last 2 years, I've become closer to her. But we've always been so fucking distant, and I think it's because of and I'm such an emotional person, and I think like my mom and my dad, they've never really fully understood that. They never really like were receptive to it. But now there's more of an understanding. Like, hey, this is how Baldwin operates. This is how he reacts to certain things. This is what triggers Baldwin for this, and that. Having those conversations with your parents is necessary.
It helps a lot.
And it's tough too. It's tough to have that conversation for them too, because at the end they raised you. So when you're grown and you're having that conversation with your parent, it's hard for them to digest that.
Yeah.
Because for your whole life, they've been teaching you how to live.
Yeah, it's easy to take personally.
Yeah, and it's easy for them to get defensive sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
You kind of have to think about how they kind of grew up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, a lot of the times they didn't learn the things they needed to also process it.
Because of where they kind of grew up, everyone had problems, but in the household, none of those problems got out of the house. You don't talk to anybody about the family problems or about your problems.
Nope.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Keep it all
it's hard to be like, yo, Ma, I don't like it when you do this and you do that. It triggers me. Pa, when you do that, I want to punch you in the face. It's hard to have those conversations.
You have to be vulnerable.
Yeah, you have to like have those conversations. And I just want to put that out there, because that's a very difficult thing that people don't always have the courage to go out and actually have those conversations with their parents, and then they live with resentment towards their parents. And I was one of those, man. I had a lot of resentment, but now I've gone out of that. So I encourage people to just talk to your parents, talk to your family.
And it's unfortunate that sometimes it takes, you know, us being in our 30s and finally being able to have that conversation. It's hard to do when you're younger, but it's like now I'm in a good spot where I can talk to my mom, and I've actually encouraged her to go to therapy, and she's trying to learn to communicate a little bit more about her emotions, which is like really hard for her to do. It's like she's a woman that's done all these things to bring our family here, and like
she's had to be this way.
She's had to be this rock. And she can't even, like, you know, when she's having a bad day, like, feels like she can't actually say that. And so it's like, it's been a work in progress of being able to say, hey Mom, it's okay if you call me or you just want to cry. I'm here to listen. I'm here to process it with you if you want to do that. Like, those were little steps we've been kind of taking to help her navigate that, but it took a really long time for us to finally get to that
This
spot.
is like so profound. I mean, because like honestly, like I study this stuff a lot all the time. So if you like, I don't know if you guys know about like, do you guys know about inherit, like, you know, how that you inherit trauma? Mm-hmm. You literally genetically in your DNA carry trauma generationally, and you pass it down.
Even with not having anything to do with it.
Literally. So I have trauma within me from, you know, maybe 10, 12 generations back, and like, because you have to remember, like, we are here today because there have been so many that came before us that make up us. We are all the culmination of our ancestors from the fucking dawn of time. So like, and you think about it this way, like animals, right? Geese fly south for the winter every year. No one tells them to do that. It's in their DNA. They just know. Animals know on instinct. Animals are a great example because an animal can be completely separated off from its, you know, isolated and not be around other animals of its nature, but its instinct, there's still code in its instinct that tells it fly south for the winter, procreate, follow this current, go do this. Go. Animals are purely instinctual, but they have this organization and this order because there's a code in their DNA that they've passed on for eons to be able to survive and to procreate and to flourish. So, but humans are the same. Like, we like to separate ourselves and think that we're not animals. We are the same. We have the same programming. So when you said it can be very hard, especially if no one in your family is doing it, or how you even said you and your mother are now talking, and like the thing is like both of you, like, you are choosing to start rewriting the code. You are looking at the trauma that you have inherited from your family, and they needed it to survive. They needed it to get this far for you to even be possible. They needed that trauma, and like you become aware. You recognize the pattern and the code in yourself through your behavior, how you act, what you do, how you react, what you think, and then you choose through therapy or, you know, lots of different ways to begin deprogramming that trauma that you inherited that's not yours. So what you both are doing is like technically like changing the structure of your DNA for the kids you're gonna have. So they don't inherit that resistance. Like, your child will not be as resistant to emotional expression as your mom. Like, you know what because it stops with you. You know what I mean? It stops with you. And like
break the chains. That's exactly
literally, you break the chain. But people can sleep for so long and get stuck in these, and then that's how like you get parents where it's like, they came from abusive relationships, and then they abuse their children, and then their children abuse their children, and like all of this stuff, like it's inherited. People don't want to be this way, but it's literally programming, and that's why it's so important to take control of what am I thinking? Who am I? Why do I do the things I do? Why do I react the way I react? Like, am I dramatic? Do I recoil? Do I get defensive? Do I want to fight? Like, all of these things are so important because it's in your you're literally coded to behave this way. And if you want to build the person, be somebody, the person you want. If you want to choose who you are, you have to look at what you are right now. Everything, and be completely non-judgmental, because you're gonna find shit you don't like. Mm-hmm. You're gonna find shit that you hate about yourself that's coded into you. And that's okay though. That's where grace and compassion and patience and understanding that you're human and that you have things inside of you that aren't yours, but they're your responsibility to unravel. And just like me, like my lack of belonging, like my trauma, all of this stuff, like I can't look at my parents to see what I inherited. So I'm kind of shooting in the dark here, but I take it on as my responsibility. Like, this suffering is my responsibility, and it ends and stops with me, and I'm gonna write the new code, and I'm gonna do it through becoming aware, choosing what I wanna think, choosing my future, being conscious, and like, that's how you become who you want to be. That's how you become on purpose, not by accident. And like, a lot of people, I feel like, become by accident. But like, it's, you know, you gotta wake,
Let's become on purpose.
Become on purpose. Look at yourself. Don't be mad at yourself. Accept yourself exactly as you are, and then become on purpose. Mm-hmm. You can't become on purpose if you hate yourself. You can only become on purpose if you fully accept yourself for the child that you are, and all of those things that you want to change for the child state that they're at, and then you're patient and you're kind and you're reinforcing and you just try and you try and you try again. And like that's how you become on purpose. It's not this fearless act of bravery where you hurl yourself without any thought. No, like it's unshakable faith in yourself and your ability to know that you're human, but you can transcend all of the things inside of you.
You can understand your triggers and your trauma and be able to look at it and be like, okay, this is why I
and not take it personally. Not take it personal. Like,
right, exactly. It's not like there's nothing specifically wrong with you. Why, like, you somehow reacted this way because you had to. Now let's think of a different way you can react to this specific trigger. Now that you don't need to do plan A, you could do plan B and C now. Let's figure out
other routes. You can be flexible and you can be fluid with yourself, and like it's just like it's so important to just like let yourself be and to just take the pressure off and like let yourself learn and like let yourself fuck up, let yourself fail, let yourself make mistakes, and let it be okay, and know that you're gonna learn from it. And know, like, you're here to be human, not to be a robot, not to be, like, this force. No, you're here to be a person. And part of being a person is, like, and truly, like, honestly, like, I don't know, this makes me feel like a privilege and an honor because, like, it can be a big deal to, like, take on all of this, like, work. Like, this is the work. This is the true work of being human. And it can be a lot, and it's really tough to look at. And, like, there's a lot of ugly things that we need to transcend. But to me, like, if you become aware, if you're aware, it's because you're built to transcend it. You're built to transform it. We are all the people in our family that are aware enough to transform it. So like we have all the tools. So it's like I don't believe your consciousness would reveal anything to you that you're not prepared to unravel. So like and that's why I'm like I deal with such heavy emotions all the time, but I fully believe that I'm built to endure it and I'm built to rise from it. And I say all the time, like I feel like my heart was made to be broken, but I mean that in a way it was made to break because it can fucking heal limitlessly, and it will heal every fucking time. And so like I'll let it shatter and shatter and shatter all over again because I believe in my capability to rise from it.
Right.
And that's so important.
Honestly, either too, like I know a lot of people, it's like, you don't need to have your shit together at an early age.
We don't have our shit together.
We never have our shit together. So it doesn't matter how old you are, it's never too late to start to just be a little bit cautious, start thinking about the steps in the direction you want your life to go and the thoughts you want to be able to perceive of yourself. You could start today. You could start tomorrow.
Literally right now. Honestly, if you're listening to this, you probably already started thinking about, because like this stuff was profound for me, and like as someone that used to literally hate themselves, if I can end up here in a place where I have deep reverence for life and deep respect for my body and myself and even the suffering, I respect the suffering so much. Even so, like, if I can transform into this person that has so much reverence and hope and just belief, I believe anybody can do it. I used to literally hate myself in my life. I used to not want to be here. And now I'm sitting in this fucking room with, like, people that I respect immensely, that I feel so honored that even like me and want to hang out with me and want to hear what I have to say and want to hold space for me. Like, we're here because Baldwin, like, finds value and, like, resonates with us, and, like, you allow us
this to is fire! Because it's fire!
And, like, 10 years ago, I never would have pictured that I would be this person, that I would have these feelings, that I would feel this way about life, like, but I do, and I'm like, if I can come out the other side, anybody can. I really believe anybody can.
You took it out a few meltdowns. Yeah.
No, honestly, fucking meltdown.
Yeah, you need it.
Have all the meltdowns, because remember, unshakable faith means that you can have unlimited meltdowns.
Yes.
And
Isn't it great? I had most of my meltdowns happen in the car or the shower. It's great. It's always great when it happens in the car.
I think the car is a great one when you're parked.
Oh, well, yes, but usually I'm driving.
Make sure to pull over. If you're driving and you're having a meltdown,
but think about it. In the car, in the shower, you're just stuck with your thoughts.
You're just stuck with it.
You're not distracted enough to not think about all the things.
It's always great. You stop at a red light. You're just like, ah! And then you look over. The person's just like,
you're like, everyone's looking at me. Lose my shit right now.
No, like literally, it's just like tears everywhere, and they're just like, okay, she's having a moment. It's like, okay.
No, literally, I like will do that, and I'll pull up to a stoplight, and I'm like, I bet the person next to me is just like, oh my god, who died?
Yeah.
Do you see that girl?
Because when it's like
died?
hardcore, like your body's like
Yeah.
They're just like, imagine looking over, you're just like
okay. All right, I'm interrupting your moment because in your car, I feel like your car feels like a private bubble, but there's fucking windows all over the place. Like,
you think it is, you're like, no one can see me, and it's like everybody can see you, especially when you're stopped.
Have you ever peeked over to like the person next to you and like just peep, or actually from the rear view and just see that they're just completely going crazy, jamming out? And then have you ever run into like them?
And later,
like them, like noticing that you saw them.
I'll see a lot.
You kind of give them like a head nod.
They're like, you're in it, bro.
Like, here.
Can I have some of that?
Like,
I love that when you catch people like in their zone, like, or even if there's somebody. Like, if you're somebody just walking in the sidewalk with their earbuds in and they're just rapping a song.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
Me too.
Yeah, you like that.
Me
you must
too.
be listening to some fire.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
The energy of stuff like that is delightful. Yeah.
It's like, if I'm jamming and they're just like, yeah, and I'm like, woo!
Yeah, please. Honestly, like, I really love watching humans just have a good time. Humans are fucking delightful to watch.
Yeah,
When they're having fun,
catching people in their zone is awesome.
it's so wonderful. Like, people are just so sweet. Like, I love listening. Like, one of my favorite things is, like, if I go to a restaurant or I go out or something and, like, I just hear a group of people having a really good time. It feels like it just...
I was walking into Walmart once with my roommate, and we were like, I don't know, we were going to get dog food or something, and there was these two girls that just, like, happened to kind of be walking in front of us going in, and I don't know what happened before, but they were in the middle of, like, a breakdown, laughing, like, she was like, oh my god, I can't believe you did that, she's like, ha ha, and she's like, you know, pulled out her phone, started recording, and be like, look at her, kind of a deal, but it was so happy to see it, because they were just cracking up and, like, walking into the Walmart, she's like, grab the car, and they're like, ha ha, and I was like, oh, this is fun, and what is happening? I wanted to be like, hi, this is you, and I was like, don't do that. Because I was like,
made their day.
Yeah, but I was just like walking fast and I'd be like, what's going on, guys? Like,
yeah, that's the reason that I love listening to podcasts, is because I love to piggyback off of the energy of other people having a good time. Yeah. I don't need to be involved. Like, it might be fun, but like, I honestly just think it's so nice to just hear a group of people vibing and like that are just on the same channel and they're not judging each other. They're all just, and I'm like, I fucking just like, I feel that way when we're in here. Like, I'm like, oh, and I hope that what we give that to people that listen to us, because I'm like, I just love sitting and listening to people like have a great time and like not be like, to be light and to have this beautiful energy and just enjoying each other. I love listening to people enjoying each other. It's just so like, it's infectious. I love it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know, like, I mean, the car is a really big one of kind of in your zone and being caught in your zone. But I'd be interested to know if there's any other places that might happen as well. Like you mentioned, like walking on the sidewalk or something like that.
I'm sorry, I'm having a coughing fit. I just...
How dare you?
I can't stop it, so just give me a second.
Oh my god. Really? Just wait. Everybody just wait.
I did have COVID recently, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm good now, but like, I'm still like coming. I have like some... I feel like when I go on
when
walks,
they're in like their creative spit, like Richie, when I peep Rich when he's in his creative zone working on whatever he's working on, it's really interesting. Also to JQ, like if he's working on a song, because everybody I make music too, but everybody attacks their creative stuff differently. So it's always and I'm a sponge with it, because like I take it all in and I try to like. I'm always willing like to try stuff out, so it's always interesting to see like what people do.
Yeah,
good. That's interesting.
You're willing to like
even with like I've just recently started using Adobe.
Yeah.
And I think it's the coolest fucking thing ever. So like this is brand new to me, and I really I was inspired by watching Rich mess around with it.
It's a good program.
Yeah, it's really cool. So just like observing what my friends do with it. And hopefully I can sit down with Steph too and learn some more.
I'll teach you a few things.
I know you've used it for a while now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I did a lot of, before COVID, most of my clients were video clients.
Oh, really?
Do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of creative stuff that's on the backlog that I want to do eventually. It's just where I want to see it go. It will take some time, and I don't know, I want to get back into it because I do like that. I like being able to like, even if it's as like, not as creative, sometimes it's literally like testimonials of like a program or like very commercial, but I have so much fun putting it together because it's really cool to kind of just see it breathe to life. And it's really exciting to see other people be excited about when I show them too, and they're just like, oh, it's so cool. I was like, yay! I was like, good, you like it. That's exciting.
Love that.
Well, yeah, I do. I wanna be able to do a little bit more, which is great. And it was always good to like. I feel like you're always learning with those types of programs.
Oh my god!
There's always different ways to do
so many things to learn. Like I feel like I'm still very
I'm at the
basic.
I'm right at the surface, and there's so many options. It's like fucking great.
Yeah,
It's such an open canvas, like to do literally whatever you want.
Limitless capability.
I've been YouTubing videos, and it's like, wow, you can do anything.
It's inspiring, right?
Yeah.
Just like
life. Very motivating.
You can do anything. You are limitless.
Yeah. Literally, that's the honestly.
Go forth and
I feel like
become
that's the grain of this podcast.
Song coming on.
Yeah, that's the.
Go out and live life the way you want. Become a purpose. Go out and flaunt and dance and fly. This is your life.
She's so good at improv.
I watch a lot of Disney movies. I was like, wait a minute. There's a song coming out.
Listen, if I could just be a musical,
You literally already are a musical. You are walking a musical incarnate. You are a musical personified.
Like, how do I get that job? Like, I just want to make musical songs, like sing about what I'm doing.
You could do it.
You already do it on the podcast.
We can do it more though. We can release like a track. Like Savage and Sexy improv. Yeah, it's honestly.
We be talking about anything. Like, ice bucket, it makes my drinks icy. Nice and cold.
Ice bucket makes my heart sing.
Oh wait, last podcast where you guys were talking about Squarespace. She's like, do you want to get square with us? Do you want to get square with us?
It's awesome. I love it.
Like, she makes a song about anything.
I love it. I love it.
No, I will tell you. One time I was doing that. I was just like singing about what I was doing, and my friend at the time was like, suddenly she started singing it. She was like, no. She's like, what song is that? She's like, I don't know that. I was like, I just made that up. She's like, you made that up? I was like, yeah, 5 minutes ago. Like, what are you talking about? She's like, it was like stuck in my head. She was like, She's like, I thought that was a real song. I was like, it is now.
Yeah. No, it's honestly so impressive, and if you don't do something with it, I'm gonna be mad at you because it's like you're. Just keep doing it, and opportunities will present themselves.
Right. Somebody out there, tell me how to get started. Put me on a Disney movie.
I'm surprised you don't just write mad songs.
Yeah, I feel like you'd be a
because it comes out of nowhere. Yeah.
Oh, you should see my phone recording.
All right, never mind.
I just don't.
You got notes.
I don't know where to put them, so they live in my phone.
Just keep on collecting them, and eventually, like you will have. I firmly believe you'll have an opportunity to.
Someone's like, oh, can you make a song up about this thing? Like, I already got it.
You'd be like a great jingle writer.
Yeah.
Like, completely.
Well, yeah.
No,
are you kidding me?
You can do way more than that.
Yeah.
When you're feeling real lonely.
Oh yeah. Yo, wait. Before I put in the drop, that's so funny. So, me and the guys, we had like a meeting just to talk about what we want to do for this next year, and when I was flipping through the notebook, I saw the lyrics of you guys. When you guys wrote that, I'm like, this is hilarious.
Yes.
Like y'all really sat down and we're really focused on getting this shit right.
Shout out to Water Country.
don't no lawsuits here, yo.
When you're feeling lonely and your self-esteem shot. I'm getting to very next time. There's no better place to waste your fucking time. Let's start dating. Let's start dating. Let's start dating. Fucking mind.
Almost took a shit. Dude, it was great.
We took an emotional dump.
Girl,
and we feel later. Yeah, okay, yes.
Like that? Like that? It's okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
And with that being said, remember to keep your perception of yourself sexy. And your self-development savage.
Bye. I need another drink.
Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, roll.
That was fun.